Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31. Today we got another special guest, Washington content creator, Big Doug's in the house. How you doing today, my guy?
Living large. I appreciate you having me on, bud.
No problem. Appreciate you coming on, man. So, how you like your off season so far? How's it looking for you, football team? 'Cause I forget. I always want to say the Redskins, and I
Uh,
forget you can't call them that no more.
no, they don't like it when you do that. In fact, they came out today. No Native American paraphernalia at all at the stadium this year per release from the team. So they're taking it serious, and we're trying to move on. But I'm with you. It's you got to get used to saying Washington football team. It's hard. Listen, the offseason's been great. I think they had some needs to fill. The offense was not nearly good enough last year. I think they liked the upgraded Fitzpatrick, and they added weapons with De'Amon Brown and Curtis Samuel. So I think they're happy the direction they're headed, and I know as fans we are too.
Nice, nice. So how you like Fitzmagic? Are you worried that he's gonna have one of them up and down years, you know? Or are you thinking it's all good, he's looking good right now, but you're gonna ride with it?
I'm excited about it. I know that the fan base is, 50-50 on it. They liked what they seen from the kid from ODU, but listen, they did everything they could in the offseason to bump the position. If you go back and look at the last couple of years now, Fitzpatrick, like last year, he didn't lose the job in Miami. He literally was playing too good, and they
Hmm.
stripped him of the position so that the draft pick would be better. And if Tua won games, then you're happy that Tua's winning games as a rookie. So he played really well last year. His time in Tampa Bay, they were always going to give the job back to Jameis one last time and see what he had. So if you look at some of the numbers, I mean, PFF is high on him. I mean, he really is a top 15 quarterback. And really, that's what this defense needs, right? Is just a guy that can be better than average. And last year, Alex Smith, God bless himself, but I mean, he could barely stand up. And the other two guys, they played four quarterbacks last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it Heineke? Is that his name, Heineke?
Yeah.
Heine-
I
Heineke?
mean, you think they started off the year with the quarterback they jettisoned to Pittsburgh, So I mean, really, four quarterbacks last year. It's tough to get on a roll that way.
If he doesn't start out hot, who would you like to see backing him up to come in and fill that role? Or you just think if Fitzpatrick's not the man, we're kind of in a bad predicament?
I think they have they've given Heineke every shot to get the backup spot. They liked Kyle Allen. They spent a draft pick on him. The word out of camp is that ankle isn't quite right. So it looks like it's Heineke's job to lose as the backup quarterback. And I think they'll give Fitzpatrick every chance to be great.
Mm-hmm. So because you guys still got you guys picked up Curtis Samuels, right?
Yes. Yep. He's been on the COVID list, and I think he's got a little groin thing, but they feel like he's going to be fine.
And then Scary Terry, that's another one, man. Terry's been doing good stuff since he's been in the league.
Terry, I mean, they're excited for Terry to take another jump, and he's been a leader this offseason. He wasn't that the first couple of years. You can tell that he kind of this is his team, and he's taking it. So excited about that for sure.
How was what was your first reaction when you seen Kerrigan signing with the Eagles?
Well, we were disappointed, obviously. Anytime. Not quite as bad as like Alfred Morris going to the Giants or to the Cowboys. Alfred's been floating around the NFC East now, but listen, it's funny about guys when in the league. So he probably had a better opportunity for playing time and winning games, quite frankly, with the Steelers if the Steelers offered him a job. We went back to the 43 last year, and I think it was better for him. So I can see why he probably thought you guys were a better fit. And I think things that the average fan doesn't think about, and I didn't think about it until somebody told me, was when you scout the NFC East, I mean, you spend a lot of time scouting that. So it is easier to go to
Mm-hmm.
somebody else within the division because really you already know the rest of the division. So it's not quite the same as going to
Yeah.
an NFC team. You know what I mean? So
Yep. Yeah, definitely probably.
he's
And
got
then,
he's got it left in the tank. What did he get his hand busted up?
yeah, but he should be all right. From what I hear, he's just being safe with him right now, keeping on him. Let some of them young guys get in the rotation over here in Philly. So, yeah, but like I was saying, yeah, you got most of his sacks came in our division in general, anyway. So, you don't think it's going to be that big of a difference without having him, considering he had 6.5, I think he had last year with you guys, and then your guys rookie Chase, he had what 6.5 too, and Kerrigan played a lot less than Chase did. So did that concern you at all that you're losing a big piece of that D line, or you think the line's still going to be great?
It does. That line is nasty, and the Chase was kind of dinged up for half the year last year anyway.
Mm-hmm.
No, they drafted, at least they think they've drafted well. So they got the kid Chase Smith Williams,
Mm-hmm.
who I think they've got backing up. I think that's where they're going to have him, the kid from NC State, kind of play that Kerrigan role.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, Kerrigan has still got it, and the coaching staff. If it was any of the coaching staff, I think they'd have kept him.
Mm-hmm.
Rivera and company just kind of has been on a clean house mission, so there's
Mm-hmm.
not a whole lot of guys that have been here for a long time still on the team. Uh, but I'm telling you, you're gonna love Kerrigan.
Oh yeah, I already like him. I was happy we got him. Like, yeah, tired of him sacking my quarterback, man. I'm tired of him sacking my quarterback. So, how do you feel about the division this year? Do you think we're gonna be the NFC least again, or do you think we got some wins coming this year where we're gonna change that narrative around?
Well, I think the cat. Well, I don't know how you'll appreciate the answer. I think the division is going to be tough. I think the Cowboys have got some juice. Now, again, we'll see what they got. They remind me of Washington of old. I think they've got some offense. They got no defense. The new Washington, we got no offense. I think we got a good defense. We're hoping to get in the middle. They are too. I don't know if we know about the Giants. The Giants defense is really good too. And I probably didn't get enough credit last year, but they got some players there, and they got my guy Ojulari from Georgia, who should add some juice to the edge. I don't know. Is the running back healthy? Is Daniel Jones going to turn the ball over 20
Mm.
times this
Right
year?
there, food stamps. That's what I got.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but they could be. I mean, if the offense they add playmakers in Galloway, so it's hard to tell. I don't know. I think you guys have a tough road to hoe, as they say. I like the quarterback.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what you think as far as whether he's a
It's her season over here. It's her season. I got the guy
yeah,
looking to be a
sure,
a
yeah,
dark horse MVP candidate. Like he showed us last year with the B team that he can put up numbers. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball. He scored touchdowns. He broke records with the B team last year. And I think with the off season, all the training and work he's been putting out there, that yeah, this is gonna be his team. Like I'm here in Alabama, so I watched him play with Alabama, and I also
right.
watched when he went over to OU. The guy just doesn't lose. He doesn't like losing. He doesn't
He's a
lose
winner.
very often. He's definitely a
Yeah,
winner. And I'm happy that he's here and he's ready to roll. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we've been looking good in practice. Like I think we're gonna win the division personally. That's just my personal opinion. You
well,
guys,
that's your job.
yeah, you guys I think going to be up there because you guys do have a really solid defense. But you guys, my theory is, how is Fitzpatrick going to go for a full season? We haven't really seen Fitzy play a full season in a while. So how's it going to be the full season? We know he can light it up sometimes, but then you also know he can get a little, gun ho out there and start, doing his normal Fitzpatrick thing. So depending on how he plays, I can totally see, you guys making a splash too this year again, because you guys did win the division last year. And, it's another year. You guys got more talent on your team. And, like you said, Fitzpatrick, while he's hot, if he can stay hot all year, then that'd be something to worry about. The Giants, I think we're going to sweep the Giants. I don't think they're good enough to beat us. Like for me, I think we have like the best offensive line and the best defensive line in the division. Like you guys are very right there. Like it'd be like 1A and 1B because both of us have depth at the defensive line and both
Yeah,
of us
yeah.
have scary
I,
players on that defensive line there.
listen, I'm a big fan of Fletcher Cox, but to suggest that the defensive lines are similar, I think is inappropriate.
Think it's inappropriate? What? Hey, everybody got their opinions,
Who,
I feel that it's
who do
not
you
just
have?
Fletcher Cox. You
Who do
got
you have on the
Hargraves.
defensive? Who do you
You got
have on the defensive line is better than Chase Young? or
Uh,
Montez Sweat.
Fletcher Cox is better than Chase Young if you want to think about it. Like he's the second best.
Well, I said Fletcher Cox is great, but who you got on that defensive line after that? Sweat?
Brandon Brown went to the Pro Bowl last year. BG
Uh-huh.
just went to the Pro Bowl last year. We got Kerrigan, who had the same amount of sacks as your boy Chase. We got,
Kerrigan was a backup on our defensive line last year.
I know, but he produced at pretty similar numbers in terms of sacks. That's what you want your defensive lineman to do. They had the same amount being a backup. And then you got over there, Sweat is looking like a monster right now in training camp.
Your
And,
Sweat is not nearly as good as our Sweat.
well, yeah, but I feel like we got depth. We got Hargraves, you know what I'm saying, who's also another one that he didn't have that best good of the year
Well,
last year.
you know from experience how good Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne are.
Yeah, they're ballers. They're from Alabama. That's why I say you guys are 1B. You guys are right there. But I just think overall defense, you don't count the defense just at the line. You got to look at linebackers. You got to look at the secondary. I think we have better secondary than you guys.
Well, okay, let's do it. Who is better than William Jackson III on your secondary?
What is he to say? The cornerback?
Mm-hmm.
Big play Slay.
No, Terry torched him every chance he got last year, so I'm not trying to hear that. Who you got? The
Slay had
second,
a
we got
down
the
year last year.
Kendall Fuller is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. Landon Collins is one of the better safeties in the league. Cameron Curl destroyed the league last year as far as PFF is concerned. Who are the safeties? Who's playing safety for the Eagles this year?
Anthony Harris from the Vikings, Pro Bowler, All Pro.
He's 100. He was a Pro Bowler 20 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay. He had 9 interceptions,
Not this year. Okay.
Led the league.
Who else? Who's the other safety? Who's the other
Rodney
safety?
McLeod.
Who?
He's always been good. McLeod's been a boss for a while now.
No.
He's been hurt recently, so that's been keeping him out of the game. But when he's been playing, he's been good. And plus, we got a young guy in Kayvon Wallace, who was one of the top safeties last year coming out of the draft. That definitely should make some noise this year.
You are. Listen, I love the passion. I get it. That's why we're fans. But to even compare slightly the two defenses on it is ridiculous.
Okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to see this year.
We will.
See what happens this year.
I'm just excited football's back.
We were with our crappy defense last year. We were still third in the league in sacks. You know what I'm saying? Like we still right there. And then we added pieces. We got Milton Williams in this year, who's a monster. You know what I'm saying? He's a big boy doing a lot of things. People are starting to compare him to, I'm not going to say no names, but some of the better,
go ahead.
some of the better DTs in the game. And he's playing both ways. Our new defensive scheme, you got to realize our defense was played with Jim Schwartz, who played the sticks defense. That's the only reason why we got torched so much. He didn't know how to give nobody no help. He didn't know how to help nobody.
That's why he got so many sacks, though, because they were just flying to the quarterback. That was the whole point of the Jim Schwartz wide 9 offense or defense.
Well, we got sacked, too, because the players are good, and the fact that, we're going to have more sacks this year, I believe, and our secondary is going to be, we're going to blitz more like we used to do with Jim Johnson, and that's going to help our defense out a lot this year. We have multiple fronts this year. I don't think teams are going to be ready for that. And we just got a lot of speed and youth, That's really what you need back there. We got veterans in the right spot, and I think we're going to, like I said, we're going to see this year. You know what I'm saying? By the time the Washington game comes around, we're going to come back on here. We're going to see whose defense is looking the best right now. But right now, I'm telling you, going into the season, the Eagles got the number 1 defense going into that out of the division. I
love it. I love it.
But let's go to who do you expect to make the big splash on your team this year?
Well, I think Cam Curl at safety is going to take another leap this year. I really think that Montez Sweat is going to really, they're going to spend so much time on Chase on the other side that I think Sweat will have a big opportunity. And the numbers say that Terry, if the quarterback plays all 17 games, weird to say 17. History shows that he pumps the ball at tight ends and the number 1 receiver. Literally 180 targets or more for the number 1 receiver that he's had the last 4 years in a row. So Terry ought to be in for a big year. And the tight end, I think Thomas should take another jump.
Yeah, as long as he stays healthy, right? Because I think Logan Thomas plays pretty good there. I did like him. I did watch him, and I keep an eye on the division as well. But obviously, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm going to root for my team first. We definitely going to put it down this year. Like, I think everybody keeps looking at last year as being how we are perceived by the rest of the NFL. Like, that's our mentality, or that's the way. We just won a Super Bowl like 5 years ago. We've been in the playoffs like 4 of the last 5 years.
How many
So
players from that Super Bowl team are still on the team?
let's see. We got Kelsey, Cox, uh, Ertz. Was Goddard still on the team? I think. Yeah, Goddard, Lane Johnson. Uh, who else is on that team from that team?
Well,
McLeod. So I'm at six. Like, we got like six, maybe seven, six. No,
you
because I
guys
think my
are you
was
guys are
Ray.
definitely closer to rebuild than you are Super Bowl team.
Rebuild even. No, that was a retooling. What up, my guy? Philly the podcast. It's definitely a retool. I don't
Uh,
see that. Like, I look at everybody thought the Eagles were bad
retool is
years
what
ago.
guys who hate saying rebuild say.
Yeah,
Retool. I love that. We've
yeah, but
been
I look
Washington's
at the
been
last
retooling
time you
for a
thought the
decade.
Eagles were bad was 2 years ago. No, if you erase last year, because last year was an anomaly, the whole no fans in the stand, the whole no off season, all that stuff. Carson Wentz playing horrible. Dougie P calling the same plays, trying to set up, trying to pass to set up the pass, which never works in football. So there's a lot of flaws that happened with last year. So I go back to the year before that when everybody thought we were starting to go on our down low spiral there. We still won 9-7 games. Now that roster and this roster we have now is a lot. This roster is a lot more talented than that roster. So I always look at that being the base. Like, I don't see us losing more than, I mean, having no lower than 10 wins this season. Like, if Jalen Hurts loses more than 7 games, it's gonna be ridiculously bad. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for one, he's a winner. For two, we have the pieces. We got Devontae Smith, the best receiver in our division, easily. No receiver in our division has won the Heisman Trophy. Straight up, you gotta give him his props. You gotta give him his love.
The college awards have nothing to do with NFL production. And listen, I'm a Smith fan. I am. I'm a you and I butt heads on two different things because I'm a UGA guy since I was born. So listen, I've seen Devontae Smith up close and personal, torching my dreams. Okay, still have nightmares about that pass to steal the national championship game from us.
Yeah,
In which, by the way, they had to take your guy out. Um, but listen, best receiver in the division, please.
he's gonna show
Might
you
not
guys.
be the best.
Like,
Might not be the best receiver on your team.
oh yeah, he definitely probably the best on our team. What other receiver has done what he's done? Like, I know you can say he hasn't played an NFL game yet, but from what you do, from all the receivers in their whole, what have they done compared to Devontae?
Line,
That whole Heisman thing,
lineup
that's not something like,
32,
oh, the best receiver in college football. He was the best
lineup 32
player.
NFL talent evaluators and find out how many want Devontae Smith over McLaurin. I don't think any.
Oh, okay, okay. I'd rather have Devontae. The Slim
You
Reaper
don't.
going to show you
You
guys this year
wouldn't take
when he's
Devon.
scoring touchdowns on you this
You
year.
wouldn't
You're
take
gonna
Devontae
understand
over
why.
McLaurin. You wouldn't take Devontae. You wouldn't
I
take him
would.
over either of the two starters in Dallas. And I
What are you
don't think you
talking
take
about?
him
CeeDee
over
Lamb was a
Galloway.
rookie last year, and CeeDee Lamb didn't even put up numbers like Devontae.
In college.
He's better than they're not even the same level
In
of play.
in college. Wait for your
Even
guy to
and you see how
wait
it
for your guy.
transferred to the
Why don't
pros.
you wait for your guy to catch an NFL pass before you anoint him the best receiver in the
Yeah,
division, please.
yeah. I'm just saying.
Please.
I'm
I
just saying. Then we got
again
Quez Watkins right now.
I love the passion, but please come on.
Okay.
Let's talk about guys that have actually taken snaps in the NFL, please.
Okay. If that's how you want to play it. I'm just letting you know now. Devontae will be the best receiver in the division. Like, his
Well,
footwork, his
see,
gameplay.
will be and is two totally different statements.
A bigger threat.
Will he be? No.
Do you think Terry's better than the cow? I would like calling them the Cowgirls, but I forgot you're not a Cowgirl fan.
They are the
So
Cowgirls.
do you
That's
do
fine.
you think
We can
do
we
you
can
think Terry's
unite
better than the
on that
Cowgirls
front, my
receiver?
friend. We can unite on that front.
All right.
Cowgirls. I love that. Yes.
Do you think Terry's better than Cowgirls receivers?
I think Terry is the second best receiver in the division. I I mean I
Behind who?
still think I think Amari Cooper. Here's how I see it. Amari Cooper is the best receiver in the division. That's just how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Scary Terry is second. I think Galladay is third. I think CeeDee Lamb is fourth. I think Curtis Samuels is fifth, and then I don't know whoever y'all got is in there next.
Okay. Rank our tight ends in the division.
Listen, I like the tight ends. Is Ertz going to even play a down this year for you guys? It doesn't seem like it.
Practicing like it. He practicing like
I've heard he's played very well.
it.
I
Hmm.
also had heard that they didn't want him anymore.
Well, he
Um,
didn't want to. He
yeah,
didn't want to hear
yes,
anymore.
we have the listen. Gibbs McKissick caught 80 balls last year for the receiver. So Vic three, yes, we do. Gibson, the league is super high on Gibson if he stays healthy this year, which I think he should. So
Do you think
yeah,
Gibson's
the
better than
running
Miles?
game, yes, they love the running game. Where does Miles Sanders fit in? He's the fourth best running back in the division too, right?
He's the best running back in the division, hands down. Zeke ain't
True.
done nothing. Zeke Elliott haven't done nothing since he got paid. Period. Zeke has not been the same since he got paid. Right.
They had, in fairness to Zeke, they had Darnuzzi and some other guy throwing the ball last year with some beat up
But
offensive
even if you go
line.
past
So,
before last year, Zeke, the year before last, Zeke didn't do that much. Saquon
listen,
can't
he's not the
stay
best running.
healthy.
Well,
Saquon hasn't been healthy for 2 years.
when health, what did Miles Sanders have got injury history too? I mean,
Not like the whole season in injuries like Saquon. Like he
I
might have
know,
missed a game
but
or two.
has he played a full season in the league?
Miles,
Yes,
for his rookie year, I think he played a full season.
not last year.
Well, he's only this is third year, so.
Uh,
But Miles got the most talent for sure.
yeah.
You don't agree with that
I
one
mean,
either?
Saquon Barkley, in fairness sake, I mean, if we're being realistic here, Saquon Barkley, talent wise, has the most talent of any running back in the division. Now, if we're talking about health, he has not proven to stay healthy. But if we're talking about talent, if you just lined up all the running backs in the division, okay, and you got to pick first for your team, you'd take Saquon over Miles. I mean, that's just you would do that.
I like Miles over
I would take
Saquon.
him over Antonio Gibson today if we're not talking about health and just pure talent. I mean, come on, let's be realistic here.
I like Saquon, but I think Miles is better than him. He got less wear on the tires than Saquon. He can catch better than Saquon. Like he's more of a complete back to me. Nobody else in the division got, 3 80-yard rushes in a season. Like going to the house, taking a distance, whatever. He's a game changer. If Mr. Peterson there would have ran the ball a lot more, we probably would have more W's last year.
Well, the what if game is a beautiful thing. We can start playing that game, but
Do
in reality, that is not what happened.
you think he's better than Gibson?
Gibson, no. And listen, McKissick caught 80 receptions last year in the third down role. Yes, thank you, Dustin Boone.
Okay. I guess,
80 receptions for the third down back from McKissick last year.
Miles led the league in yards per carry for most of the season.
Did he did he lead the league in yards per carry, or did he lead the league in yards per
He
carry for
caught
a
the
part of the season? Because
That's not
I'm
his
more
fault.
concerned about what happened at the end of the year.
That's not his fault. He didn't get the ball.
Well,
But when he was getting the ball, he was doing his thing.
okay.
But yeah, back to
Who's
the
the
tight
best?
ends. Do you
Who's the
think
best?
Dak,
Who's the best quarterback in the division?
Jalen Hurts?
You don't believe it.
I do. I don't like Dak that much. And Dak got coming off a huge injury. He just got hurt again, and he got the whole rule. I have a belief once you get paid too much money, that money you ask for, usually you don't play the same anymore. Dak just got paid, and he's coming off a huge injury. Plus, he just got hurt again in practice. So I don't see Dak being that great this year.
Who's the starting left tackle for the Eagles this year?
Jordan Mailata.
Okay.
He took care of you.
Who's the starting right
Listen, even
tackle? Who's
I've
the
been trying
starting
to,
right tackle? Who's the starting right tackle?
Lane Johnson, the best in the league.
No, no.
You don't
He's the
think Lane
best.
Johnson's the best right tackle in the game?
I loved Lane Johnson 5 years ago. How old is he now?
He's only 7 years in or something like that, right?
When's the last time he played a full season?
Like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Lane Johnson doesn't
And
miss
he's not
all.
the best.
Last
Then
year he
he's
missed
not the
because of
best.
his ankle, but he plays. He plays for majority of the time.
Okay. He's not the best right tackle.
Brandon Brooks, the best guard in the league. Now he's been out 2 seasons straight, but when
So
he's
far,
in,
Liz,
he's dominating.
so far you've had the best at every position.
That's why I'm telling you, we're gonna win all the games. When you have the best talent, who's the
I
better center?
love it.
Kelsey.
I
Who's better than
love it
Kelsey in the
so much.
division?
Fitzpatrick is the starting quarterback. Victory. Fitzpatrick.
You know, who's better than Kelsey in the division? No one.
Goddard
Kelsey's
is better than Kelsey. Kelsey's not even the best tight end on your team.
no. I'm saying he's a center. His brother plays for the Chiefs.
Oh, Kelsey. Yeah, yeah. The center. Oh, goodness. I like Kelsey. I like Kelsey.
And whenever that right side of the line's together, we win 80% of our games because they're at the
Well,
top.
you ain't won 80% of your games in a long time, so that right side must not be together very much.
Well, the last couple of years it hasn't looked so good.
Listen, we haven't looked so good either. I'm not trying to sit here bashing. I love the passion, but uh, it's every once in a while we're gonna have a bite of a reality sandwich.
You don't think Jalen Hurts is, if anything, you say he's the best quarterback, second best quarterback. I say he's the first, but you gotta say he's the second. I think Jalen Hurts is way better than Fitzpatrick. Like Fitzpatrick's a backup quarterback. He's not a perennial starter. If he was a starting
He was
quarterback,
going.
he would have started
He
for
was
a team
going to.
and been a starter.
Fitzpatrick was taking that Dolphins team to the playoffs last year. They snatched him so they didn't go to the
But
playoffs.
even before that, Fitzpatrick's been a
Literally,
journeyman for the last 6 years,
he went to
bouncing
the.
from team
Let's
to team.
go look at it. He was in Buffalo. They drafted John Allen. What are you going to do? He went down to Tampa. They had. He went to New York. They had Sam Darnold. He went down to Tampa Bay. They had the overall number one pick there in Jameis. So, listen, bad timing, bad teams. The team he was on in Buffalo, go back and look at the receivers. You can't even name Stevie Johnson was the best receiving option when he was in Buffalo. Okay. Jamison Crowder was the best receiving option he had there. And yes, he
But
had Mike Evans, but again, they were never going to just take his job away. The
they did
number one
though.
overall in the last year of his year. So listen,
Like you say, most of our guys haven't played the whole season. Fitzmagic ain't played a whole season in a long time. And
he would have played that whole season last year if they hadn't pulled him. He was on his way to 4,800 yards last year. He was having an incredible season. Go ask Devontae Parker what he thinks about Ryan Fitzpatrick.
well, yeah, because Devontae benefited from when he was on the street, but he also went on a decline. That's the reason why they brought to in.
Well, it listen, it is an interesting theory here, and I'm totally with you on it. They were in a position to start over and draft two. I mean, I'm not upset about that.
Yeah,
That's on them. But the fact is, if you go back and look at the numbers, Ryan Fitzpatrick has been really good. The Fitz tragic angle, I totally understand. He's deserving of it. But if you just go back to the last 2 years of the two Florida teams, he was really good in his time there. So will he be there? I don't know. We'll see. But it's what put it like this: he is not Tom Brady by any stretch of the imagination, but the situation I like to call the Tom Brady effect. The roster is actually loaded in Washington, and if he can give them just above average quarterback play, should be really good. I mean, really, they have three good tight ends, or three good wide receivers. They love Humphrey. He loves Humphreys. We'll see how that works out. The tight end was really good last year, and the offensive line is better than decent. So I mean, really, they're going to rely on the defense. They're going to run the ball, and if it is a top five defense, which they think it is, I tend to think it is, then listen, the offense scored 40 points once last year, 30 points no times, and then a bunch of low 20s. So that all being said, if they get good quarterback play next year and the defense is really good, imagine that defense going out with a 10-point lead. So
yeah.
that's how it looks. Heineke is not. Listen, they went out and got Fitzpatrick for a reason. They tried to get Matthew Stafford for a reason. If they were in love with Heineke, they already had Heineke. So I get what my man JC is there talking about. And there's a huge contingency of Washington fans that really want Heineke to be the guy. Again, if they thought Heineke could be the guy, they wouldn't have tried to give away draft picks for Stafford, and they wouldn't have signed Fitzpatrick on the first day of free agency.
But maybe they did
So
because they know that they're gonna that Fitzmagic's not gonna give you a whole year. So they probably
what
still
I'm
have
saying, what
faith
I'm
in.
saying is, if they thought Heineke had starting potential, they didn't need to go get Fitzpatrick. They could have gone and gotten some. They could have either drafted the guy and let him sit for a year, or they could have gotten some, backup, right? If they thought that Heineke really was the guy, they didn't do that. They went out and gave Fitzpatrick a nice 1 year deal, not a ton of money for a starting quarterback, but it's obvious that Fitzpatrick is the starting quarterback.
Okay, well that's cool, man. I'm cool. Well, like we both see, both of us have speak. What's your record prediction for Washington this year?
We're the same. Listen, here's what I'd love to do. I need to do a survey. We can do one together if you want. Let's get it for all four teams in the division and find out what everybody thinks the record is. And for those of us that really love our teams, it's always 10-7. That's what I think. 10-7. I think 8-9 is the floor. So I would love to do a survey. I bet you a ton of fans all say the same thing: 9-10 for all of their teams, because that's what you got, right? 10.
Who, me? I think that's the
Yeah,
lowest I want to see us win this year. Like I'll be disappointed if we lose anything, if we
I
have less
love
than
it.
10 wins.
I
I see
love
it.
it so much.
I was looking at the schedule, and we have a very easy schedule coming up. And the only two teams that anybody can really say for sure is going to beat us is Tampa Bay and the Chiefs. I believe we have a team, and if they're doing the things that they need to do, they can beat both of those teams. But realistically, you got to think of some losses going to happen. So that's why I got us at 12-5.
I love it. I love
Mm-hmm.
it.
Because in the division, like I said, we might split one with you. We're gonna sweep the Giants, I think, this year for sure. They only beat us one time in the last so many years. I can't even go back that far. And the Cowgirls ain't doing nothing this year because I think Dak's gonna get hurt again.
We'll see. You know what I hate is that we have to wait until the end of December to even find out
Oh, that yeah. In terms of getting them to sweep, yeah. But see, I
in the
said
division.
in the division, I don't even think it's gonna make it that long. To be honest, like the Cowgirls, by the time we hit that last game, I think the only chances they're gonna have to beat us is if we're going to the playoffs and we sit our starters.
I, I just it's so long from now. It's going to feel like a lifetime until we're at the end of the season.
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, but you didn't give. So you're saying 10-7 for you guys this year. One more game than last year.
I think 10-7. Ten
Okay,
and seven.
that's still a good record. Like I said, I hope that the division as a whole wins more games because I'm tired of being, because it goes back and forth. Sometimes we're the best division in football. Sometimes we're the worst division in football. We just
Yeah.
have been the worst division in football the last couple of years. I think it's time for that narrative to go ahead and switch back over. Like I said, I don't really have faith in Danny Food Stamps over there in New York. I don't think he's a great quarterback at all. They should have drafted a quarterback, in my opinion. And if
The league
Saquon,
was high on. It's interesting. The league was high on Daniel Jones, so we'll see.
yeah, and then Saquon needs to stay healthy. But like those skill position players, if Danny Jones not doing good, they're not going to do good. And that's kind of what happened with us. Carson wasn't playing good last year, so our skill position players wasn't playing well last year. So, and then like I said with the Cowgirls, man, they're always paper champs, and I don't think Dak got it is going to have it this year. Maybe next year he'll be fully healthy. I think they're going to probably rush him back a little too fast because he wants to get back out there and show that he's going to earn this 40 million a year contract that he just got. And I don't think it's going to work out the way they planned it to be. And their defense is trash. Even all the good names they have on, they've been trash. So
Yeah, defense is trash.
let's
Well, listen, have me back on before the Philly game, and we'll do it again because
do
I'm
it again,
excited
my
for
guy.
football season, and I can't wait.
And then yeah, guys, go sub them up. The Big John Show. I think I have it in the description.
Yeah,
Or
Big Doug, the Big Douglas
Big
Show
Doug
on
Show.
YouTube. You can catch me at Big Doug Show on Twitter, and yeah, I can't wait for the season. It's gonna be great.
All right, buddy. Well, I'll see you next time, baby. Best of luck to your teams because I want us both playing good when we play Washington the first game, baby.
I hope so. Thank you so
All right.
much, man. It was fun.
Have a good one.